Hey guys, welcome to Klaudless in Indy, where I talk about Indiana beers, breweries, and all things Indiana, but mostly beer. I'm Klaudless, and fortunately for you, it's another beer review. Hit it. So guys, we are back with another one. On this, I believe I said in my last video that I was going to talk about the 6 Foot Blonde, and if you can already see here, I decided to pick up a case of the 6 Foot Blonde. And that is what we'll be covering today. Oops. That's what we're going to be covering today. Oh, I'm super excited. And the glass that we'll be using, of course, as long as I can, we'll be using the Quaff On glass. Look at how beautiful that glass is. Look at it. So beautiful. Alrighty. Now, before we pop this open, let's go to the website. Alrighty. So here I am at the quaffon.com website. I'm really excited also about this common necessity. If I'm able to, I'll do a review of that. But first, we're going to go to beers, and we're going to go to year round, and go right here down to the 6 Foot Blonde. All right. So, 6 Foot Blonde, it's an American blonde ale with an ABV of 4.5% and an IBU of 13. Now, that's only, 2 less than the Hoosier Red at an IBU of 15. And it's also, the ABV is also lower. Quaff On, 6 Foot Blonde, light, golden malt, and hops, or hints of hops, together for a crisp, refreshing beer. This handcrafted American blonde ale is highly quaffable and a treat fit for any occasion. Well, we're going to see about that. So, it is time to pop it open. Oh, wow. So, my mistake. I probably should have, I probably should have read the bottle first before I opened it. Not that it really matters, but I noticed that on the bottle, let's see if I can zoom in, well, maybe not zoom in, but kind of get the light on there. Try to focus on that. Okay, you know what? Forget about it. So on the bottle, it actually says the IBU is 20. Okay, so what is that? About 7 more than what it says on the website, that's actually pretty strange. And once again, on this bottle, it does not have the ABV, which is also another strange thing as well. But with that out of the way, let's get into it. Also, while I'm pouring this, if you haven't, watched my other videos on the Quaff On beers, I highly recommend you do so. Oh, look at that! I was not expecting that. Head. Ooh, I would say normally when we pour it from the draft lines, I usually don't get head on this. But on here, we do get head. And you'll also notice the difference between this too. If you watch my Corn Crusher video, the difference between this blonde ale and the lager is that this is very transparent. And that's something that I noticed and stated in my previous video. That the Corn Crusher was not very transparent. But this is like water. You can see right through it. Very transparent, very clear, very straw colored. Beautiful. So, the aroma isn't very strong. You do have to get pretty close to it. I would say, yeah, I would say maybe about 4 to 5 inches. You can actually smell it. Ooh, that's good. That is good. That is surprisingly good. Wow, that is surprisingly good. We're gonna put that right over here, so you guys can continue looking at that. That is surprisingly good. Now, I will say, as far as the temperature of this beer, I'm not 100% sure, but we can say that this beer has been sitting out for a minute, so it's not super cold, which is exactly what I like. As I stated in my previous video, I think this is the perfect temperature to get all the flavors, all the aromas that at least that I'm wanting out of this. Very crisp, light carbonation. You know, not really something I would expect, I guess, from, well, I'm not gonna say I don't expect that from an ale, but you can actually see kind of the bubbles a bit. That's not something that we saw, or at least that I saw with the Corn Crusher, surprisingly. Do I prefer it out of the draft, or do I prefer it out of the bottle? I'm gonna have to be honest with you. Keep in mind, with the draft, you're getting it super cold. I don't exactly know the temperature. I want to say like, what, maybe 38 degrees, somewhere around there. While here, I mean, it's 65 degrees in this room right now. Well, actually, it might be warmer in there, but the whole house is 65 degrees. So it's not very cold. But oh my gosh, this is so delicious. I will say, in the past, I didn't really care for the 6 Foot Blonde, but as I said, that was from the draft. But from the bottle, on the other hand, I would 100% get this again. Okay, and now I understand why the 6 Foot Blonde is so popular. Okay, sure, a lot of people don't know about the Quaff On beers, and they may be kind of, you know, for lack of a better term, startled when they look at the draft line or just look at the menu of the beers, and they'll say, oh, well, the blonde ale, that looks good, I'll get the American blonde ale. You know what? Regardless, whether they know about this beer or not, they're making a good choice. And you know what I say? I say they're making an even better choice if they got it on carryout. But I would say let it sit for a minute. Don't drink it straight cold, unless, of course, you like your beers that cold, like I guess many people do. But if you at least allow it to breathe for a little bit, allow it to warm up, maybe warm it up with your hand, you know, just let it set for a minute and then come back to it. Trust me, you're not going to regret it. So, I think that pretty much is it for the 6 Foot Strawberry Blonde. Stay tuned for my next video, which will be the 6 Foot... Did I say 6 Foot Strawberry Blonde? I think I just did. So, that is for the 6 Foot Blonde. That's pretty much it for the 6 Foot Blonde. Stay tuned for the 6 Foot Strawberry Blonde. That's the next beer video. I'm super excited to shoot that video, as I am to shoot all these beer videos. I think Quaff On is a great brewery. I think for the most part with all their beers, you know, they're very balanced. Sure, they're not like the greatest beers in the world, but you don't necessarily need to have the greatest beers in the world to have great beer, right? You just need to have beers that, for the most part, are approachable by the general public. And I think that Quaff On Brewing pretty much hits the nail on the head with that one. Whether you like their IPAs, which I will be doing a review video of those, whether you like their IPAs or their wheats or their reds or their stouts or porters, as I said, as far as all the beers that I've tried, they're not too strong. They're not necessarily weak at all. They are very good, very enjoyable. I would even go as far as to say sessionable. Excuse me. And I think you'll like it. Did I mention that there's even a little sweetness to this? I probably I may be jumping the gun a little bit, but I want to say that this almost kind of reminds me of the peanut butter busted knuckle. No joke. No joke. It actually reminds me of that. I would say, so you're not necessarily smelling, as far as like the aroma, you're not smelling the peanut butter. But maybe they use the same type of grains, or maybe the same type of hops that they use in the peanut butter busted knuckle porter. Because I tell you what, when I drank that, of course I got a little ahead of myself and I started talking about other stuff before I could process that thought, or at least speak that thought. When I drink this, I'm instantly reminded of that same taste, which I think is like maybe the Nutter Butter taste, but just slightly less peanut butter. So maybe they're using the same type of hops, the same type of grains, who knows? But they're off. This is off. These beers are clearly awfully familiar. And of course, there are breweries that where their beers, they will tend to have a very distinct taste. Sometimes it can be a good thing, other times it can be a very bad thing. But in this case, I think it's a great thing. So now, officially, that's the end of the video. Thanks for stopping by. If you like this, subscribe, like the video. If you want to support me, you want to support the habits, you can go down to the link in the description to buymeacoffee.com/Klaudless Media, and you can donate, maybe become a subscriber. If there's any Indiana breweries or beers that you think that I should try and review on this channel, let me know down in the comments. If you have any critiques as far as maybe the video should be shorter, the video should be longer, if there's some things that you would like me to talk about in the videos, let me know down in the comments. Anyways, I'm Klaudless from Klaudless and Indy, talking about the 6 Foot Blonde by Quaff On Brewing down in Brown County, Indiana. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.